I guess we're ready to go. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being able to attend the Get On Board Public Agencies opportunities. I hope many of you were able to attend our Monday morning session and even the railroad opportunities. So now what we're going to talk about today is the agency opportunities. My name is Sam Tuck. I work with the Illinois Department of Transportation. I am the Bureau Chief over the Create and Freight Rail Management. We want this to be a great opportunity for people to understand about the public agency opportunities. We have specialists that can guide us through here. So one of the things we have to do is some housekeeping here. So each of the Get On Board sessions including this one, will be recorded to be shared online after the event. So the things that you might not catch today, earlier, is still going to be recorded and you'll be able to pick that up. Please stay muted with your camera and with your camera off unless you are speaking. You may submit questions through the Zoom Q&A and we will definitely try to address those questions. If we're not able to address them, we will do this at the end of the session. And if we can't get it at the end of the session, still put your question in and we'll get back. Next slide, please. So for today, as you can see, here's the itinerary, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., the Public Agencies Opportunities Panel, which is including CDOT, City of Chicago, Cook County, IDOT, and Metro. Between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., working on Create an Insider's Perspective. And we have some people who have been working on the project, Atlas, we've had Landmark, Melkel, Trinal, and a few other groups who have been working, who can give you some insight on how it is to be working on the Create project. Wednesday at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., we have a business presentation, session 1. And at 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., we have a business presentation, session 2. And we will have U.S. Congresswoman Marie Newman to speak also. And Thursday is the business presentation, session 3, and closing remarks. Again, all of these things will be recorded. So the Zoom ID to enter each of the following sessions is right as you can see on the screen. Anyone who is registered has this information in their calendar holders. So please make sure that you use these numbers. With that, now we will go ahead to CDOT's Community Mobility Benefit and work later on 75th Street SIP. And I believe that will be Jeff Schreiber.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jazeel Cortez. I am the Contracts Administrator for the City of Chicago Department of Transportation. I want to thank everyone for jumping on board here. It's a great opportunity to see some of the faces behind some of the paperwork that a lot of firms are putting in, and hopefully that give you guys some opportunities here. I just wanted to go over a quick overview of the 75th Street SIP as far as what the City of Chicago Department of Transportation responsibilities are with that. CDOT is responsible for the implementation of community mobility benefits, targeting community infrastructure improvements as part of the overall 75th Street SIP. This work will include in-kind repaving and repair of sidewalks, curbs, gutters, tree plantings, and other concrete work to improve bus stop conditions within the area. And CDOT is hoping to advertise the bid opportunity later this year, and work will begin tentatively spring of 2022. We're hoping that everything kind of flows through properly and correctly. And this wasn't really the only reason that CDOT is on here too. CDOT wanted to also provide information in regards to all of our contract opportunities, not only from us, but also for the city of Chicago in its entirety. You can find our current bid opportunities for the entire city of Chicago at www.chicago.gov/bids. Just a quick note, the city of Chicago does all of its contracting opportunities through the Department of Procurement Services, since they are the central contracting authority for the city of Chicago. So a lot of these bids and projects are let out by the Department of Procurement Services, who handle the bid process. Once that bid process is set, the contract goes back to the user department. In that case, it would be my department, the Department of Transportation, to then manage and oversee the implementation of that project. Also wanted to highlight the City of Chicago's 2021 buying plan. The buying plan is located in the URL that you can see on your screen there. And the buying plan basically gives a list of proposed projects that the City of Chicago, along with other agencies and departments within the city and sister agencies, including CTA, library, park district, are proposing to put out. It really gives a good overview of what projects are in the pipeline, what opportunities may be out there for firms who are MWs, VBEs, DBEs. Another note, the City of Chicago does have a very large scale women and minority business enterprise program in place. The City of Chicago does let the majority of the projects out with MW VBE participation goals, as well as DBE goals, of course, depending upon the funding for the project. So that really is a good opportunity to see where subcontracting opportunities and also target market opportunities could be available. The last link on there is the CDOT City programs. This is a program that shows you all the opportunities within CDOT, the programs that are available for registration, how to set up their business plans, how to do business with the City of Chicago. It's a big learner. A big opportunity to learn a way of how to actually access these programs and how to adhere to some of the city policies. Again, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to be on here. My name is Jazeel Cortez. Again, I am the contract administrator for the City of Chicago Department of Transportation Services. And with that, I will hand it over to Cook County, Edward and Tara.
Thank you, Jazeel. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tara Orban. I am the Chief Engineer for the Project Development Bureau at the Cook County Department of Transportation and Highways. I am also here today with Eddie Olivieri, who is our Director for Contract Compliance at Cook County.
Morning, everyone.
Under the leadership of President Prequalification, the Department of Transportation and Highways adopted Connecting Cook County, the department's long-range transportation plan, just 5 years ago in 2016. The final plan's 5 policy priorities are highlighted on this slide. This serves as the strategic framework for our department's capital planning and transportation 5-year program. Cook County is playing an increasingly active role in supporting local governments in their efforts to build and maintain comprehensive transportation networks. The county has provided monetary and staff support to help municipal and regional transportation agencies leverage revenues to complete or expedite transportation improvements. Through cooperation with local municipalities, high priority projects have secured full funding and been completed in a timely and efficient way. The Cook County Department of Transportation and Highways has been especially successful in helping local municipalities secure federal or state funds by assisting with the local match required for those projects. With the help of the Rebuild Illinois Capital Bill funding, we are advancing an aggressive program over the next 5 years, which is on that pie chart on the previous slide. The next slide highlights some upcoming opportunities. You can also review the Department of Transportation and Highways multi-year program online. Our 2021 to 2025 program will be released in early May, just next month. Now we're here today to talk about the CREATE program. And the CREATE program really embodies all 5 of the department's policy priorities, including work within local communities and promoting regional partnerships to strengthen both our economy and quality of life. Now, in partnership with the Village of Dolton, the Department of Transportation and Highways will be advancing preliminary engineering for GS 23A this winter. This has federal funding for next fiscal year, which technically starts in September. So we're looking at, like I said, fall or winter for that solicitation. The project will consider eliminating the at-grade crossing of Cottage Grove and the 4 Indiana Harbor Belt and CSX tracks. This project is receiving federal STP shared funds and does require DBE participation. Some of the other contracts I wanted to highlight on this slide is, our pavement preservation, rehabilitation, and maintenance program will significantly increase in size starting in 2021 due to the new revenues from the Rebuild Illinois Capital Program, as well as significant funding for our bridge rehab and repair program and our traffic signal modernization and replacement program. So those are some of the major contracts and initiatives that are coming out from our department over the next few months here. And I'm going to turn it over to Eddie, where he can talk more about how to hear more about these services that will be procured by Cook County.
Thank you, Tara. Next slide, please. So under President Preckwinkle's leadership in Cook County, we are absolutely 100% committed to MBE, WBE, and DBE inclusion on our contracts. And so all Cook County contracts that are funded by county dollars are going to have MBE and WBE goals. On the construction side, our aspirational goals are 24% MBE and 10% WBE. In professional services like architecture and engineering services, it's 35% overall MW. Those contracts that are funded in part by US DOT funds, those contracts will have DBE goals. We set those goals similarly. It'd be 34% on the construction side, 35% on the professional services side. We always want very robust MBE and WBE and DBE participation on our contracts, and we're fortunate enough to have had very good participation in the past and look forward to even increasing that moving forward. For those businesses that are interested in looking at more contract opportunities with Cook County, we refer you to 2 websites. The website for our office, the Office of Contract Compliance, which has resources around certifying, as well as resources around accessing contract opportunities, both within Cook County and Cook County sister agencies, as well as other local government agencies, all available on our website. Additionally, the website for our Office of the Chief Procurement Officer is here on the slide. There you can register to receive notifications of all contracting opportunities as they become available. You can also search and look at past contract opportunities, look at bid tabs, see what past vendors have bid, what's been successful. You can also see in real time when other vendors download solicitations so you can utilize that information to help you network. And of course, our offices are always available to help support businesses, either primes to identify MBE and WBE subs, or MBE, WBE, DBE vendors who are looking for primes or who want to participate as primes themselves. We're always available to help. And with that, we'll pass it on to Pam Simon.
Hey, Pam, you're muted. There we go. Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Again, my name is Pam Simon. I'm the Director of the Office of Business Workforce Diversity for the Illinois Department of Transportation, and also we have a DBE program because we take federal funds from the Federal Highway Administration. Our program is strictly a DBE program. So under the auspices of OBWD, we have Small Business Enterprises, SBE, that handle supportive services, DBE certification, contract compliance, and the HCCTP program. Next slide. Here you'll see the Bureau's process, what each unit does. So under certification, it processes the cert applications. We do the on-site interviews. We also look at work category expansions. If there's a firm that wants to expand its categories of work, we review that. We do follow-up monitoring, and we do all state and federal reporting. Under the compliance unit, they do the utilization plan reviews, contract goal reviews, goal modifications, labor field reviews. We track final payments and also handle the reconsideration hearings. Under policy and supportive services, that handles the DBE annual goal, the DBE program doc, supportive services, reimbursement, disparity study, outreach, and our legislative reviews. And I think one of the most important things for any contractor, DBE, certified DBE contractor interested in working on any of our projects or any of the CREATE projects that have federal funds in it, that you would be well advised to take advantage of the supportive services that we offer. The Bureau manages this, yep, too fast, go back. The Bureau manages the supportive services where we have management assistance, technical assistance, we have the reimbursement program, we have the resource centers, we have district workshops, regional networking events, and annual statewide conference. All of our supportive services are free. So downtown Chicago, 9th and Des Plaines, we have a resource center. We're a contractor, particularly DBE, that's wanting to bid on an IDOT contract or CREATE, in this case, CREATE contract, can go in and get help with business plans, QuickBooks, certified payroll, accounting system assistance. They can get help with estimating and bidding assistance. And all those things, that assistance is free. We have supportive services standing by in order to help anybody that has questions or wants help. If you're getting certified, we do not charge for the certification application. We have certification specialists to help you with your application so that when it's submitted, you don't have 15 calls saying you didn't sign this or you didn't submit this. It saves a lot of time. I talked about the HCCT program, and there will be trainee hours on any of the projects that have the federal highway funds in it. What we offer to contractors that use a graduate, we are in contract with Dawson Tech and Kennedy King. We have groups of students that go through a 12 to 16-week program to help them get prepared to work in the construction field. If a contractor hires any of our graduates, and that graduate is in a Bureau of Apprenticeship and Training program, we reimburse our contractors $15 an hour for every hour that that graduate is working on any of those projects. So if it's one of our projects with federal highway funds on it, that is certainly an option, and we encourage you. It also will help you make sure that you reach your workforce diversity numbers, because the intent of that program is to have minorities and females out on projects. We offer a lot of one-on-one assistance in terms of technical, estimating, bidding, site inspection, pre-qualification, and equipment rates. And all these services are free. So I would advise anybody that's interested in working on some of the CREATE projects or interested in bidding with IDOT, period, to take advantage of the resources that we provide. And we have resources throughout the whole state. There are 10 resource centers. So there's going to be one certainly close to you. And if you need supportive services to come to your office, if you can't make it to one of the resource centers, we also offer you that for free. Supportive services will meet you at your office to go over whatever it is that you are trying to achieve or whatever you need help with. And that's it.
Real quick, Pam, this is Sam, and I know I'm going out of order, but I know we have the Resource Center in Springfield. Do we have one in downtown Chicago?
Yes, that's at 900 Des Plaines. And it's opened every day. I understand sometimes right now with COVID, people are a little leery, but you can definitely call in, set up an appointment, and even do a WebEx with supportive services if you're not comfortable with going down to the resource center.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Pam. Now we're going to turn it over to Alexis at Metro.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexis Karras. I'm the Department Head of Professional Services Procurement for Metro. All the procurements are handled by 3 areas within procurement operations. That's professional services procurement, materials and services procurement, and construction and facilities maintenance procurement. Metro advertises all of our procurement opportunities on our website, www.metrorail.com. I put a link here that actually will take you directly to the Metro and Business section, which is where all of the procurement opportunities are listed. Each tab, like for example, here on the slide, you see IFBs, RFPs, LIQs, and our procurement awards and bid tabs are all available on our website. And additionally, you can link to our DBE information, business diversity information from there as well. Most recently, Metro has solicited some CREATE projects that was for P2 and the EW2 bridge lift. My group handles the design section, and then the construction facilities maintenance will advertise the construction portion of those projects. We also have numerous station shelters, platform repairs, parking lot improvements, bridge repairs, rail yard improvements, signal upgrades, IT services, software, hardware, and commodities, plumbing, dump trucks, video displays, uniforms, water services. Those are all upcoming in the next quarter. And you can find any future plan for solicitations on Metro's annual procurement plan. And the link is also provided here to that. That will list out by quarter when Metro anticipates advertising any of the upcoming solicitations. So I highly recommend you go there to see if there are future opportunities. Now, in order to receive the notifications, you will want to register on Metro's website. If you go to the next slide here, yes. So that will, here's the step-by-step instructions on what you need to do to register. Metro sends out solicitations based on the NAICS code for the type of work. We typically send out to multiple NAICS codes, but be sure to register your firm to the appropriate NAICS code. And that is based on the Illinois UCP directory. And when you register as a DBE with the state of Illinois, then you will be assigned the NAICS codes for the types of work that your firm performs. And you can also then list those in your profile with Metro to receive all the solicitations that are for those particular NAICS codes. And then you will, when we do send out a solicitation, you'll receive an email to the email address that you provided, which will show the advertisement with some basic details about the procurement and what we're looking for. And then you download those solicitations from our website and then follow the instructions for each of the procurement types. And I also added a link to the Office of Business Diversity information so that you can access that as well. And here are some key people to contact if you have questions about future solicitations, how to register, anything like that. The 3 listed under procurement operations are all of the department heads for each of the 3 areas of procurement. That's myself, Alexis Karras, James Barker, and Mikhail Flournoy. And I've also listed contact information for the Office of Diversity and Business Enterprise. That's Shantae Williams. She is the director of that department. She will help you get to the right place. And she helps to explain how to get certified. They perform outreach services, contract compliance, and monitoring. And with that, I will turn it over to Chrissy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alexis. So just to kind of do a little bit of high-level announcements right now, we have received some questions in the Q&A chat at the bottom. If you do have additional questions, please enter them into the Q&A. Right now, my team is compiling them so we can prepare answers. So we will address your questions through that medium. I also just want to share that these recordings materials we posted to the CREATE website by May 7th. I hope no one right now feels like they need to feverishly write down all of those, links and names and emails. We will have these materials shared with you so you can go through them and digest them. I know sometimes these events really truly work as kind of learning how to learn. And so now you know sort of how to find the portals, how to find the people. So we'll share the specific information with you after this call will be on the website. I also want to add that, this event so far has really showed how to register with the individual agencies to get involved in their procurement streams, which is incredibly important and crucial. The CREATE program also has its own procurement kind of just information process. So what you want to do if you're interested in working on CREATE projects moving forward is go to our CREATE website, which is createprogram.org. At the very top, there is a Get Involved tab. You press that, and then you press Doing Business with CREATE, and you'll see a page, and there'll be at the very top a link where you can sign up for procurement notifications. You click that, you enter your information, you click the procurement listserv, and that way you can be certain to receive an automatic email whenever the CREATE program has a contracting or professional services opportunity available. So right now, I want to take a few moments, or not more, more than a few moments, to take some time to sort of ask some panelists some questions that I've kind of come to me as we've been having this presentation so far, and a few that I think others will benefit from. And then after that, we'll get into the Q&A. So given sort of the struggles and joys of the online platform, I'm going to go ahead and direct questions to certain participants. That said, after someone responds, other panelists, please feel free to add in and add to the conversation. So definitely meant to be more of a roundtable, not so much just a call and response thing. But I guess the first question that I have, I'm going to direct this to Eddie with Cook County, is one of your slides rattled off a bunch of different kinds of abbreviations for designations. And so I guess, I know, well, let's see if I know this correctly. I think I know VBE is Veteran Business Enterprise, WBE is Women Business Enterprise, MBE is Minority Business Enterprise. I don't know PDBE or SDVBE. So my first question is, what are those? And then secondly, are some of these better than other? And by that, I mean, just if you're looking to get into procurement channels, is there some that are more of a gold standard? You really want to have those? Just talking about that would be awesome.
Certainly. So the SDVBE is Service Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise. And PDBE is a newer certification. It's about 2 years old, and that's Persons with Disability Owned Business Enterprise. And so I always recommend obtain any certification that your business qualifies for, because different contracting opportunities, you're going to have different more advantageous certifications depending on the contract opportunity and also depending on the agency with which you want to work. For example, the City of Chicago and Cook County has reciprocity, meaning that if you're certified by either agency, you will receive that certification's credit at the other. So if you're certified at Cook County as an MBE, you will get MBE credit on contracts at the City of Chicago. Additionally, the state of Illinois' BEP program also has a new fast track program that allows city or county certified MBEs or WBEs to achieve the state certification in as little as 1 week. It's a really, really fantastic opportunity. And so we highly, highly recommend that. I think I answered everything. Was there anything else that I missed, Chrissy?
No, that was great. It looks like maybe Tara wants to chime in as well.
Great.
No, I'm good. Just
I
have my camera on.
You have your camera on, so okay. No pressure. Not a problem at all. All right, awesome. So I'm going to direct this question to Pam with IDOT. So you mentioned the HCCTP program, which again, testing my knowledge here, is the Highway Construction Careers Training Program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And then also a little bit more about the Mentor Protege program, sort of what that is and kind of what kind of firms work together on that.
Okay, so yes, the Federal Highway Department requires each state that receives funds from them to have a on-the-job training program. So the HCCTP is our on-the-job training program. And we have intergovernmental agreements with 12 community colleges throughout the state for the training of these students. So they go out, project coordinators go out, they recruit X number of people or sign them up and then do the weed out program. And these students then hopefully go through the whole training program. When they come out, they're a little bit above head and shoulders of the average person that's interested in working in construction, because we give OSHA training. They get a chance to put their hands on different tools and work on different projects. And so at the end of their graduation, then IDOT actually stays with these trainees, these graduates, for a year to try and place them on a construction project in a Bureau of Apprenticeship and Training program. So we want to make sure that we're offering them sustainability, because 5 years from now or 6 years from now, when CREATE project is over or the Jane Byrne is over, we want to make sure that they are still able to go to work. We don't want to make it just, you're on this project and yes, you made good money, but now what do you do? So that's why they have to be in a Bureau of Apprenticeship and Training program with the hopes of reaching journeyman status to be able to carry them on. The Mentor Protege program is on the consultant side and also on the construction side. And the object of that is to take a protege that would like to add to his categories of work, but really doesn't have the means or doesn't have a teacher per se. So we don't make the mentor protege marriages, I call them, because I don't want to be responsible for anybody's divorce. Okay.
Amen.
So what we do is we encourage our DBE firms to go out and talk to prime contractors and see if they will mentor them, and then be able to get on a project together and be able to learn and expand their categories of work so that they can then bid on even more projects. And that's kind of it in a nutshell.
So, you know, I know that you're not the app matchmaker making the matches happen, but I'm curious if you want to get into the pool of being firms that want to work together. I guess either you or Sam, how does one sort of put out their profile that I want to be part of this mentoring program? How do you get into that pipeline?
You know, what we encourage firms to do is to go to any networking events, give a contractor an actual call and say, hey, you know, whether they've worked with them or not, but I notice you do this and I'd like to get better and I'd like to learn, you know, how to be able to do that. On the consultant side, you know, it's with consultants, if you don't get a particular type of work, you've got engineers sitting there that, you know, are not busy because you don't have the capability to bid on a certain bridge or whatever the criteria is. But if you're working with a mentor, you know, they're able to guide you and help you be able to obtain that certification.
Chrissy, if you don't mind, and Pam, if you don't mind, I want to add on, like with the CREATE program so far, Pam had mentioned some great points with the HCCTP students. We have some on the CREATE program that have been very successful in partnering with the railroads also. We talked about that yesterday, where there were some good highlights where the railroads have even picked up some of those students, and actually they're working for the railroads now in some of their programs. The other thing is with the Mentor Protege program, Pam mentioned it, this is very important for smaller firms to be able to have that in their criteria where they are now being able to do railroad work or do certain special skills that was outside of them. Many of the main consulting firms are primes. That's what we're looking for on Create. We can't force that, and we're looking for that, but it's an opportunity to go ahead and bring in smaller firms to learn. And for any of the big firms out there that's listening, we're looking for new partnerships. We're looking for that. It gives an opportunity for people to actually help and assist you, and they're learning. So we heard Congressman Russ say we're looking for racial equity. These are the opportunities where you can do that. That's all.
No, and I think I really want to reiterate what Pam said. Pam, I didn't interrupt you, sorry. But I do think that, you know, we can get so sometimes caught up in this concerns about where do we begin and, you know, how do we do this? And I think sometimes it really is just coming down to sort of the old school, taking the first step. And that is, you know, when you get this PDF of the presentation, emailing folks, calling folks, as Pam said, you know, when we used to sort of, hello, I'm interested in what your company does. This is my service. I think it really is just, if you make the effort and show the initiative, you know, all pathways lead to Rome. Sort of there, you know, just take the first step and you will get, you know, you will find your course kind of thing.
Right. Nobody is better at promoting your business than you are.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's important that you promote your business. And to go back to what Sam was saying about HCCTP, when we started several years ago, you know, working on Create projects, Sam and I sat down and we talked, and I said, Sam, you know, I'd really like to be able to put trainee hours on these projects, and I'd really like the railroads to be able to do this. And, you know, Sam was gung-ho, and it's worked extremely well. And even in terms of the $15 reimbursement back to the contractor, you know, therefore he can't complain, well, they're slow and they, you know, do productivity where you're not paying them that much out of your own pocket. And it's what a way to diversify your force. You know, you're getting some people that, and you're able to diversify your workforce. So the HCCTP has really been a good deal. And of course, it wasn't something that the railroads had really encountered before. So, you know, I got to give credit to Sam and his group with working with them so that they understood the importance of it and the benefits of it, because it's a benefit for them. So that's it.
No, yeah, and that also, sorry.
I have one question to ask you, and I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you. So the mentor or protege, does that count towards the DBE gold credit?
Yes,
or will it boost it up?
No, if you've got a protege working on your project, whatever work they do, because they're a DBE, is still going to count toward the DBE goal.
And that actually lines up with one of our Q&A questions, which is, does a company that's being mentored through the Mentor Protege program need to be pre-qualified with IDOT?
They don't have to have pre-qual on the construction side. And if you're a consultant, you're already pre-qualified. So you just have to be a certified DBE.
Okay.
In order for the contractor to get the gold credit.
Perfect.
So there's approximately 2,000, and I didn't really talk about this before, and I'm sorry. There's approximately 2,000 certified DBEs in the UCP directory. So what the feds did, they made us go join forces per se. So it's IDOT, City of Chicago, Cook County, Metro, and PACE, those 5 entities. If you're a certified DBE, you can work with any of those 5 entities and be counted toward gold credit. Like I said, there's over 2,000 DBEs in the UCP, and over 1,000 of them belong to IDOT.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to use this opportunity to shamelessly plug the Create social media accounts. There is a Create Program Chicago Facebook and Twitter accounts, and that's where we also share information regarding some of these procurement opportunities we have through Create, and also some of our good news stories. And so I was just thinking that, you know, in our recent Create annual newsletter, which came out in February, maybe March this year. We also highlighted some of these folks that are working on CREATE projects through the HCCTP program. So if you want to learn more about CREATE as a whole and kind of what we do and what we care about, I think that signing up for also our newsletter listserv is great. When you sign up for procurement, also check the little newsletter box. You get more information as well about what's happening in the CREATE universe. So I'm going to quickly pivot actually over to Jazeel and hopefully, I'm like calling on kids in class, but one thing I'm kind of curious about, Jazeel, hopefully you can answer this question, is just, we kind of said, right, that, just start trying and you'll get there, but I am curious, what perhaps is the first thing that a company should do if they want to work with your agency or public agencies? And then are there certain qualities that you look for in new firms, new suppliers, new contractors, new small businesses?
Sure. I mean, the city of Chicago is open to diversifying our workforce. So, I mean, in essence, we have a lot of opportunities out there for MBEs, WBEs, VBEs, DBEs to put themselves out there. I think it's important, right? You say you're taking the first step to try and introduce yourself to some of the large contracting firms, whether professional services or construction based. And it's that first initial step, right? And like they say, that is usually the hardest thing. So we have the CDOT is unique because we have the opportunity and the relationship with one of our agencies within the city of Chicago, meaning the Department of Procurement Services. They pretty much handle the procurement side of the contracting. They have online how to do business with the city of Chicago webinars. They have a contracting opportunity online. Their DPS website basically houses a lot of the information that we kind of work through. So being able to kind of familiarize yourself, one, with who you're trying to contract with, two, what type of work you're trying to get, certifying yourself as a firm if you fall under any of the categories. Multiple certifications are always a good thing. If you're an M or an W and a DBE, it works to your advantage because you have the ability and flexibility to work on multiple jobs, multiple opportunities that are out there. I think it's identifying your role as a company, as a firm, and trying to understand exactly where you would fit in. Kind of the same thing with the mentor protege. The city of Chicago also has that set up as far as on our compliance section. And it really helps out because some of the larger firms do have to adhere to M and WBE and DBE goals. And one part of being able to do that is by bringing on smaller firms to kind of teach along the way. So by being able to teach them, not only are they helping a smaller firm with the possibility of in the future applying to larger scope of work or larger jobs or becoming a prime themselves on some of these large scale projects, but it also adds to their own portfolio of firms that they can use for future projects. It also helps them on the compliance end because they receive the compliance credit for having an MRW, or they receive an additional incentive based on them having a firm that is actually being mentored, and then at the end of it graduates from, say, a program to a larger scale program within the city of Chicago. So I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities out there. There's a lot of networking tools that our Department of Procurement Services has. CDOT also posts a lot of our information on our city of Chicago website, the CDOT website for itself. We have you can definitely sign up. We're going to have a bid alert system set up basically for CDOT projects. DPS currently has one set up for any of the projects that are advertised currently at the city of Chicago. They advertise a list on a weekly basis, and every week it's updated every Monday. So every Monday you can see any kind of opportunities that are out there right now. It has the contact information of the person who's actually working on the contract, what department it's for, and also when the bid due dates, opening dates, and all that information is all contained in there. But I mean, it's really a matter of putting yourself out there, making some phone calls, and also really important is trying to be in those pre-bids. Pre-bid meetings are very important because they are a networking tool that a lot of people kind of use, and they don't realize sometimes that it's much easier, especially right now, we're not doing a lot of the in-person pre-bids. So a lot of the virtual ones, it's literally just dropping in on a phone call, putting your phone on mute, just listening to who the people are in the background, who's there, who's not there, receiving the list of participants, and then kind of doing your own outreach. And that really helps out because it opens up a ton of doors. Maybe for this one particular project won't work, but then maybe one of these large vendors has you in mind for something else that they're working on. They could definitely onboard you for any kind of activity. So that's another really important one as well.
I love when I have the talking points in my head that I want to cover, and then Jazeel just like knocks them all out. So that is perfect. I just want to add a couple things just to kind of clarify and reiterate and bring it home. So create procurement and contracting opportunities have pre-bid meetings. And so that will accompany our opportunities. And it really is just, you know, people that want to learn about a project, you know, come to the meeting. Folks that are actually leading that project will present on it and give you more information about what the requirements are, kind of work that's needed, things of that nature. That's a great way to kind of see literally who's in the room. And these are happening virtually right now, so they're continuing to happen during COVID. A few other places to get a sense of kind of who do you want to try to know. The folks that attended Get On Board this week, that information will be shared on the Create website along with these presentations and recordings. So you'll have a sense to say, oh, okay, looks like Jacobs was there. You know, what does Jacobs do? And have they worked on Create previously, and kind of do your sniffing starting there. Additionally, a few places to look at to get a sense of who's worked on Create previously. If you go to the Create program website, which is going to become your new best friend, your new library of sorts, I would look at two places. If you go to the latest news at the very top and then press the newsletters tab, listed there in the archive is our notifications when we have selected firms for previous contracts. So anytime we select a firm for either design engineering or for, you know, we'll send out a little announcement saying, you know, we selected Ardmore Roderick to provide engineering design on this project. And then in that announcement, it'll say other DBEs that are working on it. So you can get a sense of who are your peers and who are the firms you want to try to work with. So again, that is on the newsletters tab of the Create website. Additionally, a place I really want you all to go to, again, is the createprogram.org, get involved, doing business with Create. And that's kind of our bids page. That applies for both design, engineering, and construction work. And if you look through the bid awards table, you'll see firms that have previously worked on Create projects. So you can get a sense of some of the people you want to get to know. And I think that's just a really crucial place to go to get a sense of who are the people that you want to try to get to meet. Additionally, I'll add that this afternoon at 2 p.m., we have our Working on Create panel. And that is where we have a few firms that have worked on Create previously, some DBEs that are going to kind of share their lessons learned and kind of their information on how they got into the mix. And so definitely I would recommend coming to that panel. If you are curious and sort of learning more about the DBE experience, perfect. That is right there, 2 p.m. today. Another question that I want to ask our panelists before diving further into the Q&A, I actually want to see if Alexis can answer this one, is, you know, what is unique, if anything, about Create program contracting and procurement versus other opportunities that your agency has?
So I will say that one thing that's unique about the Create projects compared to most of Metra's projects is actually that it's FHWA funding versus FTA funding. Metra predominantly uses FTA funds and other, you know, similar grant funds. So that is one of the main differences. But also with each of the Create projects that we've worked on, there's been an outreach event such as this. So that is, it's also much bigger than our typical, you know, pre-proposal meetings that we would have. So there's definitely some options there. Any of these projects that we do, it's a really hefty package to go through. There's hundreds of pages typically, but we do try to provide, you know, instructions, checklists, everything to ensure that you can be the most successful with your submittals, you know, on the projects. We do advertise those in multiple, newsletters and newspapers. And we're always available. The procurement agent who's assigned to it, all of their contact information is in there. For any questions, we usually have a question period, maybe sometimes even two, just to make sure that we really cover everyone's questions. And then typically with the pre-proposal conference, our DBE department also participates and then provides instructions there on how to complete the forms, who to contact, everything like that. But for the most part, it's pretty similar to some of our other procurements, but obviously the funding is a big difference, and the amount of networking. But of course, like Giselle said, if we have a pre-proposal conference, we always post the list of attendees afterwards so that people have the opportunity to network.
Perfect. And that actually ties in with a few questions we've received from the Q&A, or so I'm going to make a tie-in. A few folks have wanted to know, how do you get into the Amtrak system, or how do I work with some of the railroads? And so, especially the freight railroads. And we actually had a panel yesterday morning that was a time, this panel essentially, but for the railroads. And so for folks with questions about that, go to our website and you will see the recording and the presentation for how to work with the railroads. So more of their contracting side. A question that I have, maybe Pam is the best person to answer, but if anyone else wants to chime in, for CREATE projects, does only being a DBE count? I know that because it's federally funded. So as Alexis was saying, this is the tie-in, right? Federally funded projects, generally many of the CREATE program projects are, especially the larger ones. Do you have to be a DBE, or is MBE, WBE, do those kind of count for that credit of sorts? And Pam, you're on mute, so maybe we can, there you go.
No.
Okay.
Because there are federal highway funds in them, in order for the contractor to obtain gold credit, you have to be a certified DBE. You can have all the other acronyms, but if one of them's not a DBE, then the contractor is not going to receive gold credit for you working on that project.
Now, I'm also going to, I think, further clarify, let me know if I'm incorrect, and maybe Giselle can speak to this some too. And that's what you just said, Pam, is true for the federally funded CREATE projects.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken, as I think Giselle presented in the beginning of his presentation, there is some sort of smaller CREATE or CREATE adjacent work that's happening, especially some of those community mobility improvements. And those, if they're not federally done, then the MBE kind of it carries more weight. Is that fair to say, or it applies maybe?
It would apply. So if there's no federal funds on any of the other projects, then the other acronyms, alphabets could be used on it, and the contractor would be able to obtain gold credit. But any of the projects that have FHWA funding, you have to be a certified DBE in order for the contractor to get gold credit. And those contracts are looked at on a contract by contract basis in terms of a DBE goal being set on them. You cannot just say, I'm going to have a 25 or 20 or 30% goal on any project that has federal funds in it. It has to be evaluated and looked at project by project basis, and then a goal assessed or assigned to that particular project.
Okay.
Hey, and one thing I want to add in, so it's not going to be like it's unknown. When the advertisement goes out, it specifically states that it's a federal funded project, the DBE percentage is this. So it will not say WMBE or, the other acronyms, as Pam said. It will specifically say that. And when our advertisements go out, they're basically what Chrissy told you guys to do. Go to the website and check, but we look at, I think it's the Sun-Times, it used to be OI. I'm just going off the top of my head for everybody, but we put those advertisements out. They're on our list servers for Cook County, CDOT, and even IDOT. So again, that advertisement will tell you specifically that it's a FHWA project, it's federally funded, not FHWA project, excuse me, but you're using FHWA funds and it's a DBE percentage that's required.
There are a few questions that we've received in the Q&A that are kind of seem specific to certain folks as unique situations. So I would say is if you have one of those questions that seems, kind of specific to you, email Pam Simon, right? Email the folks that are on this call, right? So we're here to serve you. So if you have a question where, I qualify for this, I don't qualify for that, kind of how do I get in the pipeline? People have shared their contact information in the website links through that presentation, which again, we'll post on the website. Go ahead and just give folks an email or a call and kind of talk to them specifically about your situation. I think that's probably the best way to go about that. And they can also provide some guidance in terms of, what you should pursue, what you should look for, things of that nature. I have a few more questions that I think are of a general enough nature that we can probably have value addressing them together on this call. One of them is, do vendors need to be Buy America compliant?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So what, okay, I'm just gonna say yes, the answer is yes, boom. Okay, here's a question. This is also a new acronym, this is a good one. Are EDWOSB certifications accepted in lieu of DBE or Illinois UCP for federal projects? Or does one need to get the state certifications as well?
You must be a certified DBE in order for the contractor to obtain gold credit on the project you're working on. Certified DBE, which means you've gone through one of the partners, one of the UCP partners, and turned in an application and gotten certified.
Perfect. Here are a few questions that are a little more specific to unique opportunities for procurement. One is, has the engineering design team been selected for GS23A? And if not, will that be procured through the city of Dalton or through the county?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your interest about the opportunity. That was one of the projects that we did highlight on Cook County slides. So the answer to the first question is no. So the engineering design team has not been selected for GS23A. There is STP shared fund, so federal funds in next federal fiscal year for the preliminary engineering, phase 1 engineering for the grade separation study. So that RFQ, we do anticipate at this time that it will be led by Cook County in strong partnership with the Village of Dalton. Thank you.
And then there's a question that it is, when will the P2 or EW2, and those are some of the 75th Street SIP projects, professional services for those, construction management be advertised? So when will construction management for P2 and EW2 be advertised?
Hi, so I will say that one of them has already been advertised and is currently under evaluation. So what I would recommend is to watch Metra's board meetings to see when that award is made public and official. And then you could contact the awarded company at that time and reach out to see if there's still any opportunities for participation.
And just to add on to that, that will also be announced through our CREATE program announcement listserv. So definitely sign up for that, and for the procurement listserv, you'll get notified that way. Additionally, P2 and EW2 are some super large projects. And so in order to kind of led by different railroads as well. And so there are multiple contracting opportunities happening through these two projects. So just keep in mind that you may be like, oh, P2 already happened. And then, a few years, now it's the other P2 thing. Stay in the pipeline. There are more opportunities, more railroads working on it. And I'm going to let Sam clarify what I just said and correct what I just said.
I'm actually going to tap out and tap in Thompson. He is the expert on this.
Perfect.
So thank you. Great question. Thank you. And we appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. Yes, so there are, as Chrissy said, there is a lot of work underway right now. So I guess the question, Chrissy, was more related to actual construction of P2 and EW2, or was it more related to engineering?
It's a professional services CM.
Okay, so with regard to professional services, we talked about this yesterday in the railroad session, but I'd be happy to go over this briefly. My suggestion here is to go back and look at the video from yesterday's session. We talked about quite a bit of this, but anyways, so right now the EW2 project has started design. There will be a lot of structural work that will be released for design in the near future for EW2. So there's a lot of opportunities. Many of those viaducts in the neighborhood get rebuilt and replaced. And so the proposals for that are coming out. There'll be construction management RFPs in the future. As far as the construction, you're still quite a few years out with regard to the construction. So this design of EW2 and P2 is just getting started. And I do want to add one thing, and to back up something that Pam and Sam both said earlier. This mentor protege program through Kennedy King is excellent. This is an excellent program, and the railroads really appreciate the fact that IDOT really got us going on that, and that now we're finding that we can pull students from that program and actually take them with very similar skills as you would find in highway construction over into railroad construction and maintenance. So it's a very similar skill set, very successful program. And we're looking at more of that in the future. We're really excited about it. All the railroads are very interested in it, excited about it. We want to keep that moving. But anyways, appreciate it, Pam, your comments and Sam's comments. Chrissy, back to you. Anything else? Did I answer the question?
Yep, no, that was perfect.
Happy to help.
Sort of a clarification question, hopefully we can address. So, and this is, I'm learning this lingo too, so bear with me, folks. So it says, I thought FHWA perhaps requires Buy American compliance and FTA is Buy America. Can anyone perhaps speak to the difference between Buy American and Buy America and sort of differences and where they maybe apply or don't apply? I don't know, Alexis, if you can answer that or, okay.
I will do my best
Okay.
anyway. So as I understand it, as part of, since we use a lot of FTA money at Metra, I'm much more well-versed in Buy America versus Buy American. But so basically part of the Surface Transportation Act, I believe it was, that established some of the requirements for Buy America compliance, and that's what the FTA follows and uses. So depending on the type of service or project that's being requested, whether it's materials or some other kind, if it's just equipment, it's construction, those have different levels of Buy America obligations. And so you do have, there is a FTA Buy America guide that is available on their website. If you do have questions about that, it's pretty lengthy. It's probably easier to email me if it's something that Metra is doing, and I can kind of help clarify. But Buy American is a different federal law, and so it's a little, and I hope someone else can kind of address a little bit more in depth, but so I believe that it has a few more, they're very similar, but it has a little bit more open, I guess, acceptability for certain things. Sam, hopefully you're coming on here to save me.
You did an excellent job. And one of the things that I want to go back and this eliminates a lot of ambiguity when you start to go back and look at the advertisement. It's going to say federal funds are being used. What type of federal funds? It's going to say Federal Highway Administration, or it's going to say Federal Transit Authority. So whatever one is applicable to, whatever one, the person asking the question, that's the format you will have to follow. So even on our advertisements for some of the projects that we did already for P3 GS19, that's Federal Highway Administered Fund, Federal Highway Administration funds that we're using. So you have to follow Buy America. FTA funds that Metro might have a separate procurement on is going to say FTA funds. You will have to follow that procurement. There are some little differences on it, but to cover yourself, follow whatever guidelines are. Hopefully that addresses the question. What you think, Alexis?
I think so. And we do also usually include the exhibit that actually shows what levels, thresholds in terms of dollar amount. We typically always include the exhibit that applies. So you would also know there what the guidelines are and the requirements. Those are always included in the solicitation package. So if we are using FHWA funds, we include that. And if we're using FTA funds, then we include an exhibit that describes those requirements.
Perfect. Another question we have is, in the future, are there going to be marketing opportunities bids? And I think a short level answer to that is sometimes there are, and so definitely sign up for the procurement listserv and you'll get notified of those opportunities. I think also if you're a smaller firm, you're still doing marketing or public involvement on some of these awarded contracts, definitely, I think get to know some of the big engineering and some of the big prime, some of the big construction companies and get them to know who you are, and that way when those opportunities arrive or they need to do teaming or put out proposals or might need some help with marketing, they know who you are, that you're in their Rolodex. I think that's a great way to go about that. I also will share, to echo Bill Thompson's comment about recommending folks watch yesterday morning's panel of working with the railroads. Some of the smaller railroads, Indiana Harbor Belt and Belt Railway Company of Chicago, both noted they're small firms, like they're small organizations. And so if you want to perhaps do marketing for IHB or BRC, if you send them an email directly, they will love to hear from you. So, and again, that information is all available on that slide, which we posted before May 7th on the CREATE website. So if you're interested in doing marketing, I think, market your firm, get the word out there and see what possible opportunities arise in the future. So definitely some potentials for making networks there. One thing I also want to just flag is that if you had a question in the Q&A that you feel we did not adequately address, or again, if one of your questions is one of those more tailored to your unique situation kind of things, please send an email to info@createprogram.org. And over the next 2 weeks or so, we will, go through those emails and provide thoughtful responses to those. Additionally, on the createprogram.org website, I think it's towards the very bottom, it's kind of small. There's a contact us link. Press that. It'll also send an email to that same kind of repository, and a great way to get a hold of us in case you have further questions. Similarly, if you don't have a question now, but you have a question in 2 days, info@createprogram.org is the best way to reach us. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't know if anyone can speak to this right now, and if not, no pressure, but I know that a few of our public agencies on this call mentioned that you often hold vendor workshops and networking events and things of that nature. And I'm sure that's probably been at least somewhat modified due to COVID, but I'm curious if anyone has any upcoming networking or outreach events that they want to share right now during this panel session. Well, I guess Get On Board is the big name in the game, so we don't want to have anything competing with our event.
Hey, Chrissy, sorry.
No, you're good.
We don't have anything specific out right away, but if they do go onto the Department of Procurement Services website, they have weekly seminars and webinars and stuff on there. So there's definitely ways to check the information there. And also the bid opportunities list that they post also has the pre-bid schedules and all that, and all the information as to how to log into it. A lot of Zoom and Teams meetings, of course.
Yeah. So I think coming out of this panel, hopefully a big achievement for those of us that were participating was sort of knowing what you don't know now. I think sometimes the first step is knowing what you need to know more about, and I think hopefully this panel has provided folks an opportunity to really kind of better understand where to find information, where to find the listservs they need to sign up for, where to find some of the prime firms they want to become networking with. So I think hopefully this has provided you enough information to kind of make those first steps. And again, any degree of, I think, enthusiasm and effort will lead to results. And so truly start emailing folks, start getting on listservs. Don't feel like you need to have it all figured out before you take that first step. So fortunately, we have this kind of last final slide just to kind of, again, bring home how to get in touch with us and stay in touch. The email info@createprogram.org, our website. Again, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We post about weekly to those sites with, procurement opportunities, information about our community involvement, information about some project developments in terms of groundbreakings and construction highlights. So it's a great way to get a sense of the flavor of Create and to kind of better get to know our vocabulary and the things that we really are passionate about. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our panel right now. Thanks to everyone who joined us. We had a really robust, I think we had about over 100 attendees. So thank you all so much for taking the time today to join us. And just a reminder for upcoming events, this afternoon is when we have our workshop at 2 p.m. with the Working on Create Insider's Perspective. That's where some local DBE firms are going to talk about how they got involved with Create and how their recommendations for folks looking to do similar work. Wednesday, tomorrow in the morning and in the afternoon, as well as Thursday morning, we have our business presentations, and that's where we're having about 5 DBEs per each session present on their services. So that way some of the prime consultants out there can get a sense of who's out there and who wants to work with them. So it's a great way to see who else is out there and to learn other people that are doing work that larger firms might need in the next months and years ahead. I'm also excited to share that Wednesday afternoon's business presentation panel will include U.S. Congresswoman Maureen Newman of the Illinois 3rd District. She serves on the House Transportation Infrastructure Committee. So she is a very crucial player in the transportation landscape, and we're excited to have her joining us at that session. Just to make things easier for you all, the link that you use to join this session is the same link that you will use for future sessions moving forward. Likewise, if you're the kind of person where you just pull up Zoom desktop app, the ID to enter for future meetings is the same as this one. It's that 961 number at the bottom of the page. So I'm gonna wrap things up right now. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be in touch as the week unfolds, and have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks very much. Bye.